My father always said I was an expense he couldn't afford. I just never thought he'd put it in writing. At 17, my life was appended not by a tragic accident, but by a business decision. My parents sat me and my older brother, Leo, down in our living room. "We have to declare a strategic bankruptcy," my father announced. "It's just a temporary setback. We'll be moving into your aunt's small apartment for a few months to get back on our feet." My mother's gaze fell on me. "Maya, honey, there just won't be any room for you. It's only for a little while. You can stay with your friend Sarah, right? We'll come for you as soon as we're settled." It was a lie, beautifully delivered. Leo wouldn't meet my eyes. I was a problem to be solved, a line item to be cut. A week later, after I'd moved my meager belongings to Sarah's couch, I went back to my childhood home to grab a forgotten textbook. The house was empty, not just of furniture, but of them on the kitchen counter. Where my mom used to leave notes about chores was a single, sealed envelope. Inside, her familiar handwriting spelled out my death sentence. "Maya." The bankruptcy was a strategic move to clear our debts. We had moved to a new city to start a new life. We couldn't afford to bring you with us. "This is your chance to be independent. You'll figure it out." They hadn't just left me. They had liquidated me for 12 years. Those words were the engine of my life. Sarah's family let me stay for 2 weeks before the strain became too much. I spent the last of my savings on a storage unit, my new home. I showered at the YMCA, lived off peanut butter, and used the library computer to search for jobs. I eventually landed a gig as a general laborer on a construction site. It was backbreaking work, but it was honest. The foreman, a gruff old man named Frank, saw something in me. He noticed how I organized the tools, how I made clean cuts in scrap wood during my lunch break. "You've got good hands, kid," he grunted one day, wasting 'em hauling drywall. He told me about a trade school, about a grant for women in carpentry. He even drove me to the admissions office and co-signed my application. Frank saved my life. Trade school was where I found my calling. The scent of sawdust, the hum of a lathe, the satisfaction of a perfect dovetail joint. It was a language my hands understood. I graduated at the top of my class, became a soul-laughter carpenter, and poured every dollar I made back into my craft, buying old tools and restoring them. I started designing my own pieces, my style a fusion of raw, honest materials and clean, modern lines. I opened a small workshop, then a larger one. My reputation grew. I was the artisan carpenter, the woman who could make wood sing. The turning point came in the form of a glossy magazine, Asterisk. Artisan Home Monthly Asterisk did a 12-page feature on me and my workshop. There I was, covered in sawdust, leaning against a massive, live-edge dining table I had built, a piece that had just sold for 6 figures. The article, titled "The Carpenter Queen," went viral in design circles, and apparently, it made its way back to my family. The first contact was an email from a name I hadn't seen in 12 years. "Leo." Asterisk saw the article. "Wow, you've done so well for yourself. I'd love to catch up." Asterisk, I almost deleted it, but curiosity was a powerful, treacherous thing. I agreed to a phone call. The conversation was stilted. He told me he was an accountant, married with a daughter. Then the real story came out. Dad's new business. It didn't work out. He admitted, his voice cracking. The company he started after they left it failed. They're facing a real foreclosure this time, Maya, not a strategic one. A few days later, my mother called. She sobbed, telling me how proud she was, how she'd always known I was special. Then came the hook. "Your father. The stress is killing him. The doctors say his heart is weak. Seeing you, knowing you forgive us, it might be the only thing that could save him." I felt nothing, just a cold, empty void where a daughter's love should have been. I told them I wouldn't give them any money. The harassment started a week later. They showed up at my workshop during a meeting with a high-profile client, an architect designing a luxury hotel. My father, all false charm and wounded pride, interrupted us. "This is a lovely piece," he said, running his hand over a console table. "Reminds me of some sketches I used to make." She always was so inspired by my little hobbies. The implication was clear. My client looked uncomfortable. The meeting ended abruptly. I had security escort them out. That night, I installed a new camera system, top of the line, with motion sensors and night vision. 2 nights later, it paid for itself. At 3 a.m., my phone buzzed with a security alert. I watched on the live feed as a figure slipped into my dark workshop. The figure was my father. He was holding a crowbar. He walked over to the centerpiece of my current collection, a massive, intricate headboard commissioned for the hotel project, a piece I had spent for months carving. I watched, my heart hammering, as he raised the crowbar and brought it down again and again, splintering the rare walnut, destroying my work, trying to destroy my life all over again. But this time, I had the evidence, crystal clear, high-definition footage of his crime. I didn't hesitate. I called the police. The next morning, I met with the detectives, gave them the footage, and filed a report. Then I called my brother. I had him on video. Leo. I said, my voice cold as steel. He's going to be arrested. The only question is whether you're going down with him or you're going to finally tell the truth. I gave him a choice. Testify against our parents. Or I would release the video to the media and let the world see the kind of people the Devereaux truly were. The fear in his voice was palpable. He was a coward, but he wasn't stupid. He agreed to cooperate. The legal battle was ugly, but swift. Faced with the video evidence and his own son's testimony, my father had no defense. He was convicted of breaking and entering and felony destruction of property. My mother, implicated as an accomplice, received probation. The story of their abandonment and abuse came out in court, and the design community, my community, rallied around me. Months later, Leo and his wife, Jenny, brought my niece, Lily, to my workshop. Our relationship was fragile, new, but it was real. He had finally broken free from our parents' control. I'm so sorry, Maya, he said, watching me sand down a new piece of wood. I was weak. I let them convince me that what they did was for the best. I didn't say it's okay, because it wasn't, but I nodded. It was a start. Lily, a curious 5-year-old, watched me with wide eyes. Can I try? She asked, pointing at a small block of soft pine. I smiled, a real, genuine smile. I picked up a small, smooth piece of sandpaper and wrapped it around her tiny hand. Okay, I said, guiding her hand over the wood, nice and gentle, just like this. As I watched her, a legacy of destruction ended, and a new one, a legacy of creation. Building something beautiful and strong with your own 2 hands began. I had figured it out.